You talk about competition, that I'm ignoring competition as a.
Well, you didn't mention the Eastern Conference.
Well, I don't have to. You mentioned the Eastern Conference. You make your point. No, but I will engage your point.
First.
I will engage your point. The LeBron James in competition. The Toronto Raptors had the best record in the Eastern Conference. Your prediction as to why they would lose, and you were correct, you thought the Raptors would lose, even though they're a far better team than they.
And I told you because they were petrified.
Of LeBron
That's
James.
Right. That's right. And you picked them to win and go to the finals. Let's not leave that out.
Right. We both agreed the Raptors were a far better team. Your point was proven correct. They are so afraid of LeBron James, they can't play. That's on LeBron. That's like what Jordan used to do. No, hold on. I'm not done. That's what Jordan used to do. People couldn't look him in the eye because he was like a Doberman pincher, right? He'd snap at him. No.
That's blasphemous. That's blasphemous right there. That's blasphemous.
I'm not done.
That's your Knicks fan. Hold on, wait a minute. They lost to Michael Jordan. They weren't scared of him.
Hold on. That's not the point. I'm not talking about the Knicks. I'm not talking about the Knicks. You know how many players would say you couldn't even look at Michael Jordan? The point was they were intimidated. The Raptors were intimidated by LeBron James. That helps Jordan. It helps James if other teams, if 55-win teams have the best record in the Eastern Conference and have a better team, are intimidated by LeBron, they can't beat him. That accrues to LeBron's credit. That's one. Two, you talk about moments. Let's go back a couple of years. The Warriors had won 73 games. Almost no one in the world was giving the Cavs a chance. And by the way, Stephen A., you and I saw each other. Hold on, you all. You and I saw each other at Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals and at Game 7 in the Finals. And KD had Westbrook and a crew. And what happened to KD in Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals, compare that to against the same team and then look at what LeBron James did in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Both at Oracle. LeBron James overcame the Warriors. KD couldn't. Now, when it's not that KD is not insanely great. He is insanely great. The point is, LeBron is on a different level. And when you compare apples to apples, you see there's no comparison.
First of all,
if you compare apples to oranges, you can pretend that KD's on LeBron's level.
I don't recall anybody saying LeBron James wasn't great. A matter of fact, I religiously hear both of us agreeing he's the best player in the world. So we don't have to regurgitate that obvious point. When you talk about Michael Jordan intimidating players, Michael Jordan was in 6 NBA Finals. The only team that I saw that was intimidated was the Portland Trail Blazers. The Lakers weren't intimidated with Magic. The Phoenix Suns weren't intimidated with Barkley and Kevin Johnson. The Seattle Seahawks wasn't intimidated with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. The Utah Jazz wasn't intimidated with Karl Malone and John Stockton.
Eastern Conference teams were intimidated?
Wait a minute. They just lost. Reggie Miller and the Indiana Pacers weren't intimidated. The Knicks with those Rough Riders, and you're a New York Knicks. I'll let you speak. You brought up how these guys intimidated. I just gave you a mountain of evidence of people who weren't intimidated. They just lost. The guys that are intimidated, I don't want to hear you right now. I listened to you. I didn't say anything. You got LeBron James going up against, listen, I don't want to call anybody names, but damn, they were scared, okay? They were scared. One team was young, they were puppies. Another team was scared, and another team's, your number one nemesis was on a bench injured with knee issues. And how do we know how lethal he is? Because he helped deliver a championship to this city. Thank you very much. You better ask somebody. Now, when we talk about Jordan, we saw a lot of players, all right, go up against this man and succumb to his greatness. But when you look, Isaiah Thomas is going to be here later. We can ask. We're going to say the bad boys were.
I see him out there right now.
We're going to say they were intimidated? We're going to say they were intimidated?
You're arguing against a straw man. I never made that claim.
No. You brought up Michael Jordan and you said that he scared people.
You're saying that because Eastern Conference teams are intimidated by LeBron.
No, I'm saying the East is weak.
Of course the East is.
That's what I'm saying.
No, he's saying the numbers aren't as impressive.
Hold on. You're talking about, you brought up specifically Toronto, how they were scared puppies.
I brought up Indiana, Toronto, and Boston.
And do you think there have never been Eastern Conference teams that were intimidated by Michael Jordan?
No.
There was never an Eastern Conference team intimidated by Michael Jordan.
I mentioned the elite teams that LeBron never gets to face because the Eastern Conference has been
You're having a separate argument with someone else.
It's not a separate argument. It's not a separate argument. I know exactly what I'm saying.
Do you think
you're the one that brought up this stuff, and I'm addressing what you brought up?
Do you think I'm arguing that the Eastern Conference is as strong now as when Jordan was in it?
No, I don't think
I'm not arguing
No, but you brought up how you mentioned MJ and how he intimidated folks. And then you said it's on LeBron. LeBron is so great, that's why he intimidated folks.
Sure.
I'm making the argument that those people were not as intimidated by Jordan as these guys are by LeBron, because it speaks to the weakness of the conference.
Okay, so do I have LeBron ahead of Jordan?
No, but what I'm saying is,
I'm making an analogy.
What I'm saying is, when you bring up the numbers, you got to pay attention to the level of competition that you're going up against. Max, if you said this is what's so egregious about
51-8 against the Warriors.
Listen to the way I'm going. This is so egregious coming from your mouth because you cover a pugilistic sport. You have seen guys walk into the ring so petrified that they have fallen without even getting punched.
But I've also seen this.
You've seen it.
But
so what I'm saying is, you know
But I've also
this.